All right, welcome back to the show. Florida Congressman Byron Donalds, member of the House Budget Committee, and my great pal and dear friend Art Laffer, former Reagan economic advisor, Presidential Medal of Freedom recipient, and author of the new book, Taxes Have Consequences. Fellas, I just want you to hear President Biden earlier today taking a big victory lap on the economy. See for yourself.
We received news that our economy had 0% inflation in the month of July. 0%. When you couple that with last week's booming jobs report of 528,000 jobs created last month and 3.5% unemployment, it underscores the kind of economy we've been building.
All right, Congressman Byron Donalds, I'm going to give you first whack at this in celebration of your return to our show. I know we've been trying to get you for a while. What do you think? He's taking a victory lap. Zero inflation, big jobs number, all is well. You agree?
No, I don't know what he's taking a victory lap on. Let's be very clear. Gas is up 44%, oil up 75%, milk up 15%, eggs up 38%. Real wages are actually down 3%. What is he talking about? Listen, the one thing we understand, and everybody in America knows this by now, the president of the United States is an economic illiterate. He has actually moved us into a recession as opposed to having our economy being growing, which is where we should have been coming out of COVID-19. This is a ridiculous statement by the president, but we shouldn't be surprised because we all know he doesn't know what he's doing.
All right, Laffer, by the way, let us salute a member of Congress who's spouting numbers. Did you hear him go through those data points? I mean, that's very impressive.
I did. Byron, you're my hero.
That's very, very impressive. Now, Arthur, I'm going to give you a whack at Joe Biden's victory lap today.
Well, he is correct, Larry, that the month of July, for that 131-day period, all right, we had zero inflation. In fact, it was a little bit less than zero, but he never mentioned the month before where we had 17.8% inflation in that month. Annualized rate, which is there. I mean, what we do is the reason we do a year-over-year comparison is because that gives us a smooth moving flavor of what's happening to inflation. And that number is 8.5%, and that's still a high number. But this month it was zero. He had a great jobs report, Larry. That's true. But when he has bad reports, and now we'll look to the future, will he come out and tell it the same way? You know, he's cherry-picking his numbers, and it's not going to last very long, I don't think. I think this economy has still a lot of problems, but if he then said today's stock market was all because of him, too, I wouldn't be surprised either.
Up, whatever, it was over 500 points
Other
today.
stories are just great, Larry. The use of the word recession. I mean, goodness gracious. The word depression came because Herbert Hoover didn't like the word panic. So he said it's a depression. And then it was a big one and called it the Great Depression. I mean, and then if you remember Alfred Kahn saying it was the banana. Oh, my God.
I remember the banana.
These things, they never stop. They never stop.
When we were both kids. Byron, you know, it's to Art's point. I mean, you're still left with an 8.5% inflation rate. By the way, yesterday we had a terrible report. Not only wages are up almost 7%, which is, I'm not afraid of higher wages, but productivity crashed down 2.5% year on year, which means the workforce is probably responding to higher prices. They're not really producing to make it all work. And let's go into this bill, which I have labeled pathetic. How about this? We substituted one tax hike for another, according to the Wall Street Journal editorial, and they have it right. Why should we tax retirees? Why should we tax capital by putting a 1% excise tax on share repurchases or share buybacks? There's nothing wrong with that. That's just a way of managing capital. I mean, there's a lot of taxes in this bill, but that one particularly sticks in my craw.
Listen, I totally agree with you. What's in this bill is a joke. I got to go back to D.C. and vote on this thing on Friday. But taxing capital is the worst thing to do in a recession. And yes, we are in a recession, folks. Do not listen to the White House because they're lying to you. But at the end of the day, what we want is an economy that is growing healthily. If you tax it, whether you're taxing capital or energy, that's also in this bill, which is atrocious, all you're going to do is strangle growth into the future. That does not help working families. That does not help seniors on fixed income. It doesn't help the middle class. It doesn't help our economy. It is terrible policy. Larry, I know you and Art would never actually allow for something like this to happen under your watch. And so really it's an honor to be on with you, Arthur, because I studied the Laffer curve when I was in college. It's really great to be with you, but it's this terrible policy for our country. We shouldn't allow it. It's going to make things worse, not better.
Well, we all studied under Art Laffer. That's what made it so great. But you know, Art, I just felt this bill does nothing for economic freedom, does nothing for free market capitalism, does nothing for entrepreneurship. And, you know, let's go to the Laffer curve. You have taught all of us about the importance of incentives. If you tax something, you get less of it. If you tax something less, you get more of it. They don't talk about incentives. Even, I mean, many Republicans aren't talking about incentives. That's why I like the fact that Trump in recent weeks has given some good policy speeches. I understand this horrific flap over the invasion in Mar-a-Lago, but he's given some good policy speeches about cutting taxes and deregulating. And I think that in the long run is really important, Arthur.
Yeah, well, Trump did a very good job on deregulation. He did a great job on Operation Warp Speed. He did a great job with the 2017 tax cut. I mean, all of these things. I was a little wary of his spending, which is not more than a little wary, as you remember, Larry. But he did a great job on the economy, and that's all true. I love Byron, by the way. Gosh, I'd like to have him take my segment so I could listen more to him. He's great. But the one that gets me the most of all, Larry, is and militarizing and bringing in all these IRS, new IRS people. I think that is a real hard time to reverse ever in the future. If they raise taxes, we can always lower them when we get in power, and then we'll do that. But once you got a huge bureaucracy set, it's really hard to cut it back. And they are very intrusive.
You know, Art, so let's, and Byron, I'm just going to lay this out. We're running out of time like always. But look at, you want less underreporting, I'm going to call it, because most Americans don't cheat. They do not cheat. Most Americans do not understand the tax code. That's the problem. It is so complex, and they're layering on with all these tax credits and refundable credits. It's going to make it even worse. That's the problem, Art. We need a nice, simple, low-rate flat tax. That would deal with this, not 87,000 more. And yeah, Steve Moore's report today for the Committee to Unleash says these guys are armed. The IRS people are armed. I didn't even know that.
Yeah, well, you want the Jerry Brown flat tax that I did for Jerry Brown when he ran for president in 1992. Just 2 low-rate broad-based flat tax, one on business net sales, value-added if you're a Democrat, and one on personal unadjusted gross income. 13% would, in static terms, more than cover all federal taxes, get rid of everything else, have taxes for revenues, and then use your spending for redistribution. And if you did that, you wouldn't have to worry about people paying their taxes because everyone would think the tax codes were fair, and they would be more than willing to contribute their part to the society. I mean, if you make 10 times as much as I do, Larry, which you do, you should pay 10 times as much in taxes.
I don't.
That's
I hope
it.
you weren't referring to me. I've never made 10 times. I wish I made 10 times as much as you.
I was.
Yeah, dream on. Byron Donalds, I'm going to give you the last word in just a few seconds. If you win the House, and we all expect you to, can you push for a flat tax? Simplification, and low rates, Byron.
Totally agree. We should do it. A simple code would actually mean more revenue for the federal government.
Yeah, there you go.
Exactly.
I believe that's called the Laffer curve. Anyway, that was a good segment, you two. Byron Donalds, House member from Florida, and the great Art Laffer.